Okay, so number one, the first thing that I typically see, I would have to say, especially with women. Okay, that's kind of a silly statement because I really only work with women, but I think women get so busy. This is a problem for them, is that they're not eating enough. So many of and if they give me their logs, their food logs, or even just a quick estimate of what they're eating a day, they're often eating about 600 to 800 calories sometimes, which is not nearly enough for most women. And a lot of that just comes from us being busy and skipping a meal, and we're running around and we're just not even thinking about it. We don't think about it. Then all of a sudden, 2 o'clock, we're starving to death. And so we start to eat in a compensatory manner, meaning that we eat all things like our frontal brain. We talked about this last night. Our frontal brain is the one that gives us logic and reason. And then we have this portion of our brain called the reptilian brain or survival brain. When we get to this hungry state, really overly hungry, and blood sugar is crashing, we can't even think straight. So our survival brain is just saying, eat all the food. And it doesn't care what the quality of food is, how much food it is, just get it in now. So that is kind of a problem because not only are they not eating enough calories at the right times of day or scattered throughout the day to keep their blood sugar balanced, when they do get to eat, they're eating way too much and way too much of the wrong foods. So it's kind of starting this negative cycle. So either they're not eating enough because they're busy, or they're not eating enough because they are cutting calories too much in an effort to lose body fat, which then throws their body into sort of a panic mode. And if we're being honest, I think we're all in enough mode right now as it is that we don't need to be stressing our body out anymore than it already is. Okay. So make sure that you know exactly how many calories you're supposed to be eating, and then make sure that you're eating those calories. And the only way to know is to log your food and to use an app like My Fat Secret. Excuse me, it's called Fat Secret, and the other one is called MyFitnessPal. And to be able to log those foods in, that's a really hard thing for me to get clients to do, but it is super valuable. Once they do it, they start to recognize their patterns and recognize the foods that are working for them, that are creating meals that are satiating to them and are keeping their blood sugars balanced. And they can go back and look, oh, that meal had some broccoli and some chicken, and quinoa, and I felt awesome after that meal. A ton of energy. I had mental focus. I um, 100 hours for that meal. That's great to okay. The next is here's a little term, how many calories fast. I'm gonna one thing. My most to client. You just what I mean. If you just want to actually, but if you are a goal loss, you're going to get your body weight and you're playing about 10 to 12 calories. Now there's this magic about that we should how our goal kind of our and your same is not and that way and that 20 okay, won't 10 calories per pound of and you're going to eat more time pretty and that's going to be 1500 days that's 5 more or 6 days okay much and on home I'm that drinking a little more alcohol than they typically would right now because they're kind of in alcohol can decrease the body's fat burnability by up to 73%. That's huge. That's a lot. Do you know that a carbohydrate I don't know. I just can't figure. Sorry, a carbohydrate has 4 per gram. A protein has 4 calories per gram. Fat 9 calories per gram. It's very calorically dense, but has 10 calories per falls. They're greater than the protein and carbohydrates. A little bit of that, but not much. It actually leans toward, calorically speaking, it the number of calories that fat growth. So drinking alcohol can also impair protein synthesis, anabolic hormones, meaning muscle building hormones, so they can impair that. Drinking alcohol can also disrupt your sleep quality. Last night we talked about the importance of women and getting sleep, especially during that menopause window, because of certain hormones that you produce, quality hormones that you produce when you sleep. And if you are drinking alcohol and it's disrupting that sleep, then you're probably not producing as much of that human growth hormone as you'd like to. So the next one is sitting too much. Again, we're probably all sitting too much right about now in these weeks while we are at home. And it can be really challenging to get yourself up and moving. And maybe the movement looks like pacing, trying to figure out what to do with yourself. But I really recommend short bursts of walking, maintain a stable insulin levels, blood sugar levels, and it's really important to remember, very important to me, sitting down regulates it down regulates certain fat burning enzymes and turns off a particular fat burning enzyme or gene called LPG1. Okay, so these are enzymes and genes in our body that are just a little Pac-Man, and their goal is just to eat up fat throughout the day. But when we sit, we down regulate enzymes and we actually turn off that gene when we are in a state. So you are automatically turning yourself to or turning off your fat burning abilities when we getting up and moving around as frequently as possible. This is why fits are awesome, because they will let you know every hour have not enough steps, and it will remind you to get up. All right, another one that I run into often is you are not eating enough protein. Many women, almost every woman, I can't even tell if I've met a woman that's eating enough protein. Typically, they are eating about half the protein that they need to be eating to maintain the muscle they have. Muscle is about tissue and means hungry. It eats fat for a living, so it's important to maintain muscle, and that protein intake helps you maintain that muscle. So be shooting for 0.7 to 1 gram of protein per kilogram of body weight. So that means you have to do some math. Let me just give you, because you need to take body weight in pounds, divide it 2.2 to get your body weight in kilograms. Right then, we're going to take that figure, multiply it by 0.7 to 1 to get your amount of protein you eat every day. Not really an easy way to get around the math, but let me just say that the 150-pound person should be eating about 68 grams of protein a day. Okay, that's the lower end of the thing. So honestly, a lot of women aren't even getting 30 or 40 grams a day. So be really conscious about getting that protein. The other thing is fiber. A lot of women are not, men and humans are not eating fiber, and fiber is the secret key to low glycemic load. It's like a sponge that soaks up sugar, burn more slowly in your digestive system, so you don't get this big spike in blood sugar and then a big. So we should be eating 35 grams per day. I can guarantee you, if you can't, well, I can't guarantee it, but most likely, if you log your food, you'll find they're eating a lot less than 35 grams a day. So we need to be eating leafy greens and vegetables at every meal to help us burn more calories, stay fuller longer, and reduce your appetite and get the other heart benefit of fiber. All right, next one is one of the biggest mistakes is you're not drinking green tea. What do we have? 4 to go. Green tea contains catechins. It's a group of antioxidant compounds, and these catechins fry fat tissue, revving your metabolism, release fat from the cell, and speed up the liver's fat burning capacity. Okay, so the thing is with green tea, in order to get enough, you need to drink 6 cups of green tea a day. And typically, a person's not going to drink that much. You can also take green tea extract to get you higher capability, but just know if you're drinking green tea, it's got to be 6 cups a day. Okay, and also remembering that tea is a diuretic, so for every cup of tea you drink, you're going to want drinking 1 cup of water to offset that. Okay, so another thing that you could be is not eating products. So a good bacteria in probiotic foods can help improve your immune system it can increase burning, and it can ramp up your metabolism. So good gut health is going to help. That's where that bacteria lives. Good gut health is going to improve your metabolism and increase your fat. That is definitely something people forget about. Another thing that can be slowing metabolism down is your workouts are too long. Long workouts use up muscle tissue and can be very stressful to the body. You're a perimenopausal or a menopausal woman or somebody that operates for high levels of stress, or you just go, and very rarely get to stop, and you hit at night and are just exhausted, you probably are somebody that should ramp it down a little bit and focus on shorter workouts. The long workouts just add stress. Stress creates a hormone called cortisol. While cortisol is a good hormone because it does get us going and kind of ramp up our energy levels, it also can work against us in that the body fat or the belly fat has 4 times more cortisol receptors than anywhere else in the body. So if we have a lot of cortisol circulating in the bloodstream, that belly fat, all those little receptors, gives it a place to hang, right? Which is a large reason that a lot of menopausal women have menopausal belly. Okay, our last one is you're not drinking enough water. If you don't drink enough water and let your body become hydrated, you're automatically setting yourself up for a slower metabolism. In fact, by drinking 14 ounces of water, you can briefly, in a short window of time, increase your metabolic rate by 30%. I'm thinking sounds pretty good to me. So if you think about this, so 4 ounces of water, and you briefly increase that rate by 30%, drinking 100 ounces of water a day, those 14 ounces periodically. So throughout the day, you are boosting your metabolism by 30% all throughout the day. It also, the liver and the kidney come into play here. The liver has a large part in creating a healthy metabolism. If the kidneys don't have enough water because they are working really hard because they're not getting enough water to do the filtration job, then the liver comes in and says, I need to help out the kidneys. Well, if the liver's helping out the kidneys, it can't be solely focused on increasing your metabolism. I hit all 10 of them. That was pretty awesome. So you should use those tips while you're here in confinement and see if you can increase that metabolism by adding some of those tips in your day. They're really, all of them are very simple. They just take a little bit of planning, a little bit of calculating.